Good afternoon, council members. Thanks for allowing me to speak. I also would like to add that it takes courage to think, to act, to speak when it's harder and it's easier to stay home and do nothing. So I'd like to applaud these young ladies for coming out today. It takes guts. I also agree with their assessment that there is a problem, and we have to address that problem. I'm a community activist here. I sit on the Regional Air Quality Board. I'm on the Clean City Commission as well. So I take pride in looking after our community. And one of the things that I did as I was exploring, what we could do to curb gun violence in schools is I went in and I met with the police officer at Spring Branch ISD, and we had an interesting conversation. He comes from a military background, much like I do. And we talked about perimeter security, creating classroom scenarios where, like they're the Alamo, you have to create layers that block people from coming in. They've done a phenomenal job of doing this and creating a good plan. It's people in the community that can enact the greatest change in these organizations. It's harder to hire excessive amount of officers to be the eyes and ears to watch over all of us. I can tell you that because I grew up in the north side of Houston, and as we were advocating for some of the things that sound like red flag laws, I'd like to remind people that we don't have the quick access to self-protection. And places like Northside High School have seen their share of violence as well. We've had human trafficking incidents. We've had kids killed right outside of Marshall High School. So it's erroneous to think that maybe the government or the city council can even come in and step in and fill that void when we still have unfunded pension liabilities. We don't fund firefighters. Our police officers are the first to be dismissed. So let's take care of ourselves first. What they do that works pretty well is they do the active shooter training. The minimum requirements are often what schools do, but at Spring Branch ISD exceeds that minimum. We also agree that metal detectors don't work. Students just find their ways around them. And teachers should be established at each entrance as schools beginning. You have to have a designated mental health officer at these schools. Otherwise, we won't know what's going on. Children are the best ones to find out when their peers or something suspicious is actually going on in the community. So I also would like to segue a bit into the epidemic of gun violence, because I think it's a bit of a misnomer considering that schools in the Houston area have seen recent activity, but overall the Center for Disease Control reports that gun violence has gone down 36% since 1999. And those are statistics that we like to use along with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So fear is the thing that we have to overcome. We can't be so fearful that we blind ourselves to the reality of the situation. Also, we have to compare what happened at Sandy Hook Elementary. We like to say, was there anything that could have been done at Sandy Hook that would have prevented that incident? And oftentimes the answer is no. Most of these people passed background checks. They had access. And I agree that safe storage is a key issue, but we already have those initiatives. So why repeat what's already been done?